Nelson Mandela was the first South Africa black president. He spent the third of his life in prison, and ended up being the best hero. His speeches are highly motivational. Let us listen to this speech talking about politicians who are scams.
There is some remarks which I have made on countless occasions. I make these remarks because I think it is necessary for us to remind ourselves of what human beings have done, both to oppress and exploit other human beings, and to address their living conditions and to make life worthwhile. Men and women all over the world come and go. Some leave nothing behind, not even their name. It would appear that they never lived at all. Others do leave something behind. The haunting memory of the evil deeds they committed against other human beings. Various kinds of theft, robbery, malicious injury to property, denial of human rights simply because people are of a different color to you, torture, imprisonment without trial, and political assassinations. Every time the names of such people are mentioned, even at the height of their power, with all the glittering symbols of power, they are like a grave, beautiful outside, rotten inside. Whenever their names are mentioned, feelings of contempt, of disgust, of revulsion, of hatred well up in our hearts. We regard them as the scums of the earth, as pieces of rats who are not fit to live. There is another second category of people who leave something behind. These are the men and women who have emerged in various parts of the world and who have chosen the world to be the battleground of their efforts, the theater of their operations. Their task in life is one. That is to improve the living conditions of the people amongst whom they live. To make life, to make everybody feel that it is worthwhile to live. To fight questions like poverty, ignorance, disease, and want. They are the men and women who want to put sunshine in the hearts of the poorest of the poor. Their name lives beyond the grave. They are the men and women who, when their last day comes, we are able to say from the bottom of our heart, here lies a man or woman who has done his or her duty to country and people. Their names live beyond the grave. They become immortal. I have traveled around this country. I've traveled around the world. I have seen, as a result of efforts that have been made by men and women who were hardly known before, the father of this young lady, the late Oliver Tambo, the old man next to us here who sent me to jail, Walter Sisulu. If I had not met him, today I would have been a rich man. But I'm poor because I ignored the advice of my principal, under whom I had my articles of clerkship as a lawyer. He kept on warning me, leave Sisulu alone. You will spend the greater part of your life in jail. I didn't believe him, and that's what has happened as a result of association with him. But on a serious note, these are the men and the women who have put sunshine in the hearts of the poorest of the poor. But they are not the exceptions. As I look at you, there is written across the faces of many of you that feeling of immortality. And that is what has given me hope, because I find that expression as I travel right around the world. And today we are meeting here to celebrate an event which is designed to empower our young people. Because, as has often been said, our youth are the most important national asset that we have. Amongst these children are going to be members of parliament, are going to be ambassadors, are going to be cabinet ministers, are going to be deputy presidents, are going to be presidents. It is for that reason that we should give them the opportunity to advance. And this Children Fund is a small contribution in that direction. And I'm very grateful that South Africans have responded to the challenge I made when I established this fund. There is no black man, there is no white man. All of them regard themselves as South Africans, and that this is a common cause which requires their participation. And it is for that reason that every night when I go to bed, I do so full of strength and hope, because I can see in my own country the rainbow nation emerging. Different cultures, but one nation. And it is in this spirit that I came here. And it is in that spirit that when I come to a gathering of this nation, I feel 50 years younger than I am. Thank you.
Mandela had been always showing his greatness. Day by day, let's also listen to his presidential inauguration.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished guests, comrades and friends, today all are stirred by our presence here and by our celebrations in other parts of our country and the world, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. Our daily deeds as ordinary South Africans must produce an actual South African reality that will reinforce humanity's belief in justice, strengthen its confidence in the nobility of the human soul, and sustain all our hopes for a glorious life for all. All this we owe both to ourselves and to the peoples of the world who are so well represented here today. To my compatriots, I have no hesitation in saying that each one of us is as intimately attached to the soil of this beautiful country as are the famous jacaranda trees of Pretoria and the mimosa trees of the bushveld. Each time one of us touches the soil of this land, we feel a sense of personal renewal. The national mood changes as the seasons change. We are moved by a sense of joy and exhilaration when the grass turns green and the flowers bloom. That spiritual and physical oneness we all share with this common homeland explains that the depth of the pain we all carry in our hearts as we saw our country tear itself apart in terrible conflict, and as we saw it spent, outlawed, and isolated by the peoples of the world, precisely because it had become the universal base of the pernicious ideology and practice of racism and racial oppression. We, the people of South Africa, feel fulfilled that humanity has taken us back into its bosom, that we, who were outlaws not so long ago, have today be given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. We thank all our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country. What is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. We trust that you will continue to stand by us as we tackle the challenges of building peace, prosperity, non-sexism, non-racialism, and democracy. We deeply appreciate the role that the masses of our people and their political, mass democratic, religious, women, youth, business, traditional and other leaders have played to bring about this conclusion. Not least amongst them is my second Deputy President, the Honorable F.W. de Klerk. We would also like to pay tribute to our security forces in all their ranks for the distinguished role they have played in securing our first democratic election and the transition to democracy from blood-thirsty forces which still refuse to see the light. The time for the healing of the wounds has come. The moment to bridge the chasms that divides us has come. The time to build is upon us. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. We succeeded to take our last steps to freedom in conditions of relative peace. We commit ourselves to the construction of a complete, just, and lasting peace. We have triumphed in the effort to implant hope in the breasts of the millions of our people. We enter into a covenant that we shall build a society in which all South Africans, both black and white, will be able to walk tall without any fear in their hearts, assured of their inalienable right to human dignity, a rainbow nation at peace with itself and the world. As a token of this commitment to the renewal of our country, the new interim government of national unity will, as a matter of urgency, address the issue of amnesty for various categories of our people who are currently serving terms of imprisonment. We dedicate this day to all the heroes and heroines in this country and the rest of the world who sacrificed in many ways and surrendered their lives so that we could be free. Their dreams have become reality. Freedom is their reward. We are both humbled and elevated by the honor and privilege that you, the people of South Africa, have bestowed on us as the first president of a united, democratic, non-racial, and non-sexist South Africa to lead our country out of the valley of darkness. We understand it still that there is no easy road to freedom. We know it well that none of us acting alone can achieve success. We must therefore act together as a united people for national reconciliation, for nation building, for the birth of a new world. Let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all. Let there be work, bread, water, and salt for all. Let each know that for each, the body, the mind, and the soul have been freed to fulfill themselves. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another and suffer the indignity of being the skunk of the world. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. I thank you.